Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast.
I'm Emma.
And as always, I'm sitting here in the studio with my wonderful co-host, Norman. How are you doing today, Norman?
I am doing fantastic, Emma. Thank you for asking. And hello to all our listeners out there, tuning in from their cars, their kitchens, or maybe while they are walking their dogs. It is so great to be here with you all.
Yes, absolutely. We are so happy to have you with us today. Now, today's topic is something we all love, the weekend. We are going to do a real English conversation practice, focusing on how to talk about your weekend. Even though the title says A1 to A2, we are actually going to challenge you a little bit today with some solid B1 intermediate vocabulary.
Exactly. We want to keep it natural, keep it energetic, but also give you some new words and phrases to really spice up your English. Because let's be honest, I went to the park and it was good. Gets a little boring after a while, doesn't it?
It really does. There are so many better ways to express what you did, how you felt, and what happened. So Norman, let's dive right in. Let's pretend we just met at the office on a Monday morning, and I am asking you the classic question. Hey Norman, how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun?
Oh, the classic Monday morning question. Well, my weekend was interesting, to say the least. It was a real mixed bag. Have you ever heard that phrase, Emma? A mixed bag?
I have, but why don't you explain it for our listeners?
A mixed bag means it was a combination of good things and bad things. Some parts were great and some parts were, well, a little stressful.
Oh no! Stressful? What happened? I thought you were just planning to relax at home, maybe read a book or watch a movie.
That was the original plan, yes. But you know me, Emma. I always get these crazy ideas on Saturday mornings. I woke up, the sun was shining, I had a big cup of coffee, and suddenly, out of the blue, I decided I was going to build a bookshelf.
Wait, build a bookshelf? From scratch? Are you a carpenter now?
Apparently, I thought I was. I looked at this empty wall in my living room and I thought, you know what? I need a bookshelf there, and I am going to make it myself. So I got in my car, drove all the way to the big hardware store on the edge of town, and bought a bunch of wood, screws, and wood glue.
Oh, this sounds like a disaster waiting to happen. Please tell me you at least watched a tutorial on the internet first?
I watched exactly one 5-minute video. I thought to myself, how hard can it be? Well, let me tell you, Emma, it is incredibly hard. I spent the entire afternoon sitting on my living room floor, covered in sawdust, trying to figure out why the shelves were not straight.
Oh no. Were they completely crooked?
Crooked is an understatement. If you put a book on the top shelf, it would just slide right off and fall onto the floor. I spent 4 hours, Emma, measuring, cutting, and drilling, and at the end of it, it looked like modern art, not furniture.
Well, modern art is very expensive. Maybe you can sell it online as a masterpiece.
I wish. Honestly, by 6 o'clock on Saturday evening, I was so frustrated. I had a headache, my back was hurting from bending over all day, and my living room was a complete mess. I just gave up.
That is completely understandable. Sometimes you just have to know when to quit, right? So what did you do to recover from the great bookshelf disaster?
I did the only logical thing. I ordered a massive pizza with extra cheese and pepperoni, took a hot shower, and sat on my sofa to watch a comedy show. I needed to laugh, to forget about the crooked wood sitting in the corner of the room.
That sounds like the perfect rescue for a bad Saturday. Pizza really does fix everything. And what about Sunday? Did you try to fix the shelf or did you leave it?
I did not touch it. Not at all. Sunday was my day of rest. I slept in late until about 10 o'clock, which is very rare for me. Then I went for a really nice long walk in the national park near my house. The weather was absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, I love that. The air always feels so fresh in the national park. Were the leaves changing color?
Yes, it was so beautiful. The leaves were turning red, orange, and gold. It was the perfect autumn day. I hiked for about 2 hours, just breathing in the fresh air, listening to a podcast. Not this podcast, obviously, but a history one, and taking some photos. By the time I got home, I felt completely refreshed. So that was my weekend. A stressful Saturday and a peaceful Sunday.
You know, that really is a mixed bag, but honestly, it sounds like Sunday completely made up for Saturday. Sometimes we need a little chaos to really appreciate the quiet moments, don't you think?
Exactly. I completely agree. But enough about my failed carpentry skills. I want to hear about your weekend, Emma. Was it as dramatic as mine?
Thankfully, no. I did not try to build any furniture. But my weekend was actually very busy. It was the complete opposite of a lazy weekend.
Oh, did you go out of town?
No, I stayed in the city, but I had friends visiting from out of town. My best friend from university, Sarah, came to visit with her husband. They drove in on Friday night, so I spent the whole weekend playing tour guide.
Oh, that sounds so fun. It is always great to catch up with old friends. Where did you take them?
Well, Saturday morning, we started early. We went down to the famous outdoor market in the city center. You know the one, with all the fresh pastries, artisan cheeses, and local vegetables.
Oh, I love that market, but it gets so crowded on the weekends.
It was absolutely packed. We had to squeeze through the crowds, but it was worth it. We bought these amazing warm chocolate croissants and fresh coffees and just walked around looking at all the stalls. Sarah bought some beautiful handmade jewelry, and I bought, well, way too much cheese.
There is no such thing as too much cheese, Emma. We all know that.
True. So after the market, we walked down by the river. We just strolled along the water for a few hours, catching up. It is so funny how you cannot see someone for 2 years, but when you finally meet, it feels like no time has passed at all. We just talked and talked about work, relationships, life changes, everything.
That is the sign of a truly great friendship. You just pick up exactly where you left off.
Exactly. After our walk, we were starving, so I took them to that new Italian restaurant on 5th Street. Have you been there yet?
I don't think I have. Is it the one with the green awning outside?
Yes, that is the one. Oh, Norman, you have to go. The food was incredible. I had this creamy mushroom risotto that was out of this world, and Sarah had homemade ravioli. We sat there for hours, just eating, drinking some sparkling water, and laughing.
Wow, that sounds like a perfect Saturday. Was Sunday just as busy?
Yes, it was. On Sunday, they wanted to do something a bit more cultural, so we went to the Modern Art Museum. There was a new temporary exhibition featuring local artists. To be honest, some of the art was a bit strange. There was a giant sculpture made entirely of old plastic bottles.
Ah, yes, modern art. Maybe I should submit my crooked bookshelf to the museum. They would probably love it.
Oh my gosh, you really should. Just put a fancy title on it, like The Burden of Wood, and they will charge $10,000 for it.
The burden of wood. I love it. I am writing that down.
So after the museum, they had to pack up their car and drive back home. They left around 4 in the afternoon. And let me tell you, the moment I closed the front door, I just collapsed on the sofa. I was exhausted.
I bet. Playing tour guide is hard work. You are constantly talking, walking, planning where to go next. It really drains your energy.
It does. I spent Sunday evening doing absolutely nothing. I did some laundry, prepared my clothes for Monday, and just went to bed early. I needed to recharge my batteries.
Well, it sounds like you had a very fulfilling weekend, even if it was hiring. You know, listening to both of our stories, it makes me realize how many different ways there are to talk about the weekend.
Exactly. For our listeners practicing their English right now, notice how we didn't just say, it was good. We used adjectives. We said it was a mixed bag, or exhausting, or fulfilling.
Yes, and we talked about the sequence of events using words like first I went to the market, or after that we walked by the river. These little transition words like after that, then, and eventually really help to make a story flow naturally.
They really do. And we also talked about our feelings during the weekend. Norman, you mentioned feeling frustrated when your project failed and refreshed after your walk. I mentioned feeling exhausted but happy. Describing your emotions makes your story so much more interesting for the person listening.
Absolutely. Let's talk about one more thing related to the weekend, Emma. Do you ever get the Sunday scaries?
Oh, the Sunday scaries. Yes, absolutely. Listeners, if you don't know this phrase, the Sunday scaries is that feeling of anxiety or sadness you get on Sunday evening when you realize the weekend is over and you have to go back to work or school the next day.
It usually hits me around 6 or 7 on Sunday evening. The sun starts to go down, the house is quiet, and suddenly I remember all the emails I have to answer on Monday morning. It is a terrible feeling.
It really is. I used to get the Sunday scaries a lot when I had a job I didn't really like, but nowadays I try to fight it by planning something nice for Sunday night. Like I will cook a really delicious dinner or watch my favorite television show. It gives me something to look forward to instead of just dreading Monday.
That is a very smart strategy. I usually try to prepare as much as I can for Monday. Pack my bag, make my lunch, so that Monday morning isn't so stressful. But maybe I need to add a nice dinner to my routine too.
You should. And maybe order another pizza, just in case the cooking goes like your bookshelf building.
Ouch. Okay, that was a fair joke. I promise my cooking is much better than my carpentry.
I will take your word for it, Norman. Well, I think that is about all the time we have for today's conversation practice.
It really flew by. For everyone listening, we have a little homework for you. We want you to practice answering the question, how was your weekend?
Yes, try to speak for at least 1 or 2 minutes. Use some of the vocabulary we used today. Tell us if it was relaxing or chaotic or a mixed bag. Tell us what you did, who you saw, and how you felt.
You can practice in front of a mirror, or record yourself on your phone, or even tell a friend. The more you practice telling your own stories, the more natural your English will sound in real conversations.
Absolutely. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's episode. We always love spending this time with you, helping you improve your English step by step.
Keep up the great work, everyone. Keep practicing, keep listening, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Even native speakers build crooked bookshelves sometimes, both literally and metaphorically.
Perfectly said, Norman. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We will see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.